Barakatah Yahweh, Barakatah Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rakahakwadash, Barakatum. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, glory, and infinite honors to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahawashi. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone who rule and teach well. And peace and salutations to you sincere Akim out there, pushing this word in truth and sincerity to the four corners of the globe. May you brothers endure until the end. This is the brother Ra'aya with another video, and in this video, I'll be profiling a little bit of this clip from the Canadian Preppers YouTube channel titled, Massive Nuclear Bunkers Are Being Built for the Elite. And the title speaks for itself. This is what the super rich are doing to prepare for what's coming. And the higher ups in society can see the writing on the wall. They can see that major economic collapses are coming, social upheaval, civil unrest, food shortages, pestilences, martial law, world wars, ultimately nuclear conflicts. So they're preparing accordingly. And this is all a part of biblical prophecy. A lot of you higher ups in society, especially the elites, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPonts, the Massimos, the Gettys, the Merovingians, are going to survive all these calamities that are about to take place on this planet. But when the dust settles, you're not going to come back to the surface and rebuild society in your image, your NW0, your GREATRESET, that fourth industrial revolution. You're being preserved because you're going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. This is Amos chapter 9. I'm going to read verses 1 to 3. I saw Yahweh standing upon the altar, and he said, Smite the lintel of the door, that the posts may shake. Shake and cut them in the head, all of them, and I will slay the last of them with the sword. He that fleeth of them shall not flee away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. And those that are trying to flee and escape are these higher ups, the elites in society, going to these different bunkers and safe spaces. And those that they're not going to be able to flee away from or be delivered from are the 144,000 led by Yahawashi Hamashiach, whom the world ignorantly refers to as so-called Jesus Christ. The 144,000 who were fishers of men during these times, out on the highways and byways prophesying the words of the Most High and putting up video epistles online, are going to be hunters in that day with new spiritual bodies. Think about 144,000 black Adams led by Yahawashi, going everywhere you elites are hiding and dragging you out like the rats you are to slap chains on you. Though they dig into hell, thence shall my hand take them. And when you go into that word hell in the Strongs, it's Sheol, or the grave. So it's talking about underground, which is what those bunkers in that Canadian Prepper clip are. This isn't talking about another dimension of hellfire where Hellboy is poking people with a pitchfork. That's all Saturday morning cartoon nonsense and mythology. Though they climb up to heaven, thence will I bring them down. This is talking about low orbit space stations and other space infrastructure which we know exists. You've already got those international space stations up there, and what have we seen over the past couple of years? These different billionaires like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, and Richard Branson come up with civilian space tours. Hey, that's not just so people can go look at the stars. Again, the higher ups know what's coming, so they're preparing accordingly and doing whatever they can to assure their survival. And though they hide themselves in the top of Carmel, I will search and take them out thence. And Carmel was a mountain, so this is talking about deep mountain bases. And though they be hid from my sight in the bottom of the sea, which there are undersea bases as well as luxury submarines that these elites have. There are undersea highways that exist. Just look them up. Thence will I command the serpent, and he shall bite them. So not only are the 144,000 going to go underground to get you higher ups, go into space to get you, and go into the sea to get you. But that serpent, Leviathan, is even going to get in some work on you as well. There is no escape for you elites. And you did all your dirty right now, and you're not going to escape. You're going to be judged and punished for it by being the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. And then the rest of your nation is going to be put into slavery as well. But now let's get back into this clip. And this is a fair use copyright disclaimer. I do not own any of the footage in this clip, nor do I stand to gain from it monetarily. It is simply for educational purposes. And I'm going to play about the first 4 minutes or so of this clip.
Okay, so at first I thought this has to be a joke. There's no way in hell a company based out of Switzerland is building $100 million subterranean fortresses for the ultra-rich to ride out the apocalypse while the rest of us...
Subterranean fortresses, though they dig into hell underground, then shalt mine hand take them.
...catch a 1,000,000-degree sunburn. There's no way in hell. This has to be parody. This has to be some side hustle of The Onion or some other comedic troupe. But it is, in fact, real. Today, I'm...
And we know it for a fact that it's real because it's stated in biblical prophecy.
...going to be reacting to the website and their demo video. And disclaimer, I've skimmed the website. I've skimmed the video, so it's not going to be a 100% pure reaction, but mostly. I tried to save the experience for me and you guys to enjoy together or to criticize together, which is what we ultimately might end up doing. As you can see, it's presented in this very American Psycho-esque bourgeois package with the mission statement and all the rest. They've basically ripped off Koyaanisqatsi, which was a sort of documentary musical. I believe it was directed by Francis Ford Coppola, but don't quote me on that, back in the 70s. And the irony and hypocrisy here is that Koyaanisqatsi was meant to represent life out of balance, that mankind had overstepped his boundaries, that we were on the brink of destroying ourselves. That's what Koyaanisqatsi represents. Meanwhile, you have people like who are buying these $100 million bunkers with 5-meter tall ceilings and crystal chandeliers and places to put their artwork are the cause of this, arguably, or at least their excess certainly is not contributing to being a part of the solution. So anyways, let's read their missions.
And that's a good point. These elites that are escaping this destruction, hey, a lot of these different calamities, they had a hand in fomenting. And you think you're going to escape this mess you made.
Statement. Let's look around the website. Let's see what $100 million will buy a guy nowadays. The antithesis of equilibrium is Koyaanisqatsi. The term defines personal turmoil and life out of balance. Unfortunately, the human condition is prone to a world brimming with the unpredictable. It sure is, which is why the rich are building apocalyptic bunkers worth $100 million. And you know what I think, guys? I think that this is probably for the petty bourgeoisie. This isn't for the big dogs. This is for like the paper billionaires, not the cash billionaires. I'm sure that Bill Gates and Bezos have their own private contractors for all this stuff. Anyways, let's carry on.
And best believe that if we're able to see this stuff, that's a pretty much what the Canadian Prepper said. This is for the lower level millionaires and billionaires, even though that's a lot of money to have, more money than a majority of people ever see in their entire lives. Think what the true elites, the trillionaires, like your Rothschilds and Rockefellers have, some next level type bunkers underground in low orbit space or underneath the sea. But at the end of the day, it's all futile because it said, those that fleeth away shall not be able to escape them, or those that try to, what does it say? He that fleeth away shall not fleeth away, and he that escapeth of them shall not be delivered. And your money or your infrastructure will not be able to save you from the judgments of the Most High, from Yahushai and the 144,000 hunters.
The Swiss are masters at building bunkers. They have the best bunkers. Oppenheim's first priority is protecting what our clients cherish most, the ones they love, and their worthless pieces of art that they're not going to be able to eat after it hits the fizzy. Even the strongest face the whims of uncertainty, the strongest, because, you know, the elites are the strongest. Even the ones born with a silver spoon in their mouth. And guys, I'm not free market. You guys know I have a store. I'm pro-freedom, pro-free market. So this ain't some communist ranting and envious of the rich people. This is a prepper thinking about how dumb a lot of the stuff is on this website from a survival standpoint. But let's just carry on. And hopefully the rich are this dumb, because then it will be easy to take their stuff when it all hits the fan. I'm just kidding. I'm prepared. I don't need to steal anybody's stuff. But for those of you who do, this is your opportunity. Volatility is everywhere, but the fortunate can aspire to the comfort found in the safety and protection of oppidum. I don't know what oppidum means, but I guess it means something important. So let's see what this is all about. Yeah, look at this. So exquisite, isn't it? So exquisite, the marble floors. Oh, look at that. Okay, let's see. Ultra luxury fortified underground residences. What could you possibly need something like this for in times of austerity? I wonder if they're really preparing for social upheaval so they can retreat to these lavish layers while the rioters cannot penetrate the fort. I mean, they got indoor growing. Anyway, let's just watch the video. I'll quit talking. I'll shut up. All right.
Oppidum creates underground living spaces that are highly...
Did you notice that was like 3 times the size of their house?
And look at that. And remember what the Canadian prepper said. These bunkers are more than likely for your lower level millionaires. Again, imagine what the true elite, the trillionaires have.
Now, I understand that their house has probably multiple layers, but it's like they're being more excessive in the apocalypse. It's all about extending privilege. That's what Guy McPherson always talks about, right? Anyways.
I say with this clip, you get the point. But as we can clearly see, biblical prophecy is taking place right on time. The higher-ups in society are preparing for the calamities that are coming with their different safe spots and hideaways. But then what comes next? Hey, not them coming back to the surface to rebuild society, but them being dragged to the surface by Yahushua and the 144,000 to be the first fruits of slavery, the kingdom of heaven. But now I'm going to go to Revelation chapter 6. I'm start at verse 12, and the header reads, the sixth seal, terror. And I beheld when he had opened the sixth seal, and lo, there was a great earthquake. And that great earthquake is talking about the nuclear missiles during World War III, which are going to be shot to the ends of the earth. And the United States of America, Babylon the Great, is going to get hit by 200 million nuclear missiles, which is going to turn it into the biblical lake of fire from sea to shining sea, and then a desolate, uninhabitable wasteland afterwards. And everybody in the U.S., even those with DUMBs, deep underground military bases, or in mountain bases like a NORAD or any other type of bunker that isn't of the elect, hey, you're going to be destroyed in this nuclear destruction. And the sun became black as sackcloth of hair, and the moon became as blood. And in the scriptures, the sun can symbolize knowledge, and the moon can symbolize wisdom and understanding. And when these nuclear missiles start flying and Yahushua makes the second coming, hey, that's going to be the end of Esau Edom, the so-called white man's knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. What's about to take place won't be able to be explained away by Esau Edom's pseudoscience and pseudo-knowledge. And the stars of heaven fell into the earth, even as a fig tree casteth her untimely figs when she is shaken of a mighty wind. And the stars of heaven falling unto the earth are these different higher-ups, like the elites, these movie stars or people with prestige in society, and these different idols that these people worship in society being brought down low, because the only sovereign power in that day is going to be Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shai. And that mighty wind is again speaking of the nuclear missiles, the nuclear destruction. Verse 14, and the heaven departed as a scroll when it is rolled together, and every mountain and island were moved out of their places. And what does it say in Isaiah chapter 24? When this destruction takes place, the earth is going to rock to and fro like a drunken man. And the scroll, as it were, being rolled together is talking about that mushroom cloud after the nuclear detonation. Because when that mushroom cloud goes into the sky and billows into itself, what does it look like? A scroll rolling in together. And the heaven departing away is this power structure of the heathens, chiefly of the Edomites, being taken out. Because in the scriptures, heaven and hell can be symbolic for a description, for a condition. If you're living in your heavens, you're in rulership, you're in power, you're living deliciously, like these Edomites are. And if you're in your hell, you're on the low, you're in captivity, you're a slave, like the children of Israel, who are known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today are living in, especially in the United States of America. When these nukes start flying and Yahweh Shai makes a second coming, there's going to be a role reversal. The children of Israel, beginning with the elect, are going to be in their heavens, while you heathens, especially you Edomites, are going to go into your hell. Again, all the heathens, beginning with their elites, are going to be gathered up and have chains slapped on them so they can serve as slaves building up the kingdom of heaven during the first 1,000 years of the kingdom of heaven. Verse 15, and the kings of the earth, the uber elite, your Rothschilds and Rockefellers, and the great men and the rich men, hey, your nobles, your lower illuminaries, your Bill Gateses, Jeff Bezoses, Elon Musks, and the chief captains and the mighty men, these higher ups in the military, your generals and stuff like that, and every bondman and every freeman, hey, the servants and help that these people are going to have with them in those bunkers. Because do you think they're honestly going to do all that work themselves? No, they're still going to want to live that life of opulence with maids and butlers and shit like that. And if you go back and watch the rest of that Canadian Prepper video, he says something about how these bunkers will have people like that, servants to the elites in it with them, hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks of the mountains. Hey, underground bases, deep mountain bases, bunkers, you name it, and said to the mountains and rocks, fall on us, and hide us from the face of him that sitteth on the throne, the Most High, Yahweh, and from the wrath of the Lamb, his Son, Yahweh Shai. For the great day of his wrath is come, and who shall be able to stand? Nobody shall be able to stand. Again, you elites and other higher-ups are being preserved so you can serve as the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. He that fleeth away shall not flee away from them. He that escapeth shall not escape of them. Now I'm going to close it out in Psalms 149. I'm going to start at verse 4. For Yahweh taketh pleasure in his people, the children of Israel. Again, known as the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans today. And then you've also got the Israelite foreigners out there who look like these heathen nations. He will beautify the meek with salvation, beginning with the elect of the nation of Israel, the first fruits. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. And when you're in your bed, what are you? You're resting. You're at peace. So this is the children of Israel at rest and at peace, ruling in the kingdom of heaven. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand, to execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. As it says in Revelation chapter 13, verses 9 to 10, he that hath an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. In Jeremiah 30, verse 16, hey, all those that made you captive shall become captive. All those that made a prey out of you and spoiled you shall be a prey and a spoil. All you heathen nations, chiefly you Edomites that came against the children of Israel, are going to, get paid back for it. Everything you did to us, we're going to do unto you. You sold us into captivity, into slavery, and stole our goods. Took our women and our children. We're going to put you into captivity. Take your goods. Take your women. Put your children into slavery. To bind their kings with chains. Your Rothschilds and your Rockefellers and their nobles with fetters of iron. Your Bill Gateses, your Jeff Bezoses, putting chains and fetters of iron on them because they're going to be the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven. And then it's going to trickle down to the rest of the heathens that has survived this coming destruction. To execute upon them the judgment written, this honor have all his saints, praise ye Yahweh. So it's going to be a great honor to the elect, to be the first fruits in the kingdom of heaven and to be the first ones to put you elites, the first fruits of slavery in the kingdom of heaven, into that captivity, slapping those chains and fetters of iron on you. So that's it with this video. And with this video, I hope you sincere Akim and Akwath were edified. Just keep strong. As we can clearly see, we're almost out of this final wicked captivity of the heathen nations, chiefly of the Edomites. And as always, I'm going to say Abad Babal, Kwam Yasharala, and until next time, Shalom.